Our next speaker is Steve Kimble. Larry was a huge influence for Steve as a coach and mentor. He is the current soccer coach at St. Ben's University. Help me to welcome Steve.
Well, I'll start as I did on the right off the bat. Pretty emotional. Most people that know me know that. I cry at Extreme Home Makeover all the time. Breaking in tears when I see Bambi or anything else. Just want you to know that's just who I am. I first met Larry when I was taken in by a good family of his, Wilsons and Cobos and Roxanne was. And Bill probably must have called Larry and told him that this young stray kid needs a job. And at the time, Larry was at the Park and Rec. And I probably needed to pay for all the food I was eating out of the fridge, just for all that Bill said. But anyway, I remember Larry comes flying up in this incredibly bright yellow car, and his I don't know if you saw him ever driving around town, but this happened on a number of occurrences. He'd hang his head out the window quite a bit. He comes flying up in his yellow car and his big straw hat, and I hop in, and we go to Big Bear on Division. Not there anymore. I think it's Panera. And I remember I had to get steel-toed boots before I could work for the Park and Rec. I remember him being very hyperactive, and I needed to pick out boots quick. So I grabbed some boots quick, and I remember him, I think he said, "Those are good." And, so anyway, he drops me off with my boots at my first day. I worked in the forestry department, a great place to work. And by the way, and I made sure that I put in my Carry Bridge message to him that I wanted him to know that those boots gave me the worst blisters. I figured that give him a little ribbon. But anyway, it was a good job at the forestry department. And one memory I had is I got to drive the water truck around St. Cloud. And around Killian Boulevard, they had just planted all these trees along Killian. They were little, they're big now, beautiful trees. And I had to water them, get them going, pretty dry summer. So here I am driving around St. Cloud with a wrench to the fire hydrants and a fire hose strength water truck. At the time, Bill's son, Danny, worked at Wilson Park. And I don't remember exactly how it went, but somewhere in there, either Larry or somebody identified that there was a geese problem at Wilson Park. So I remember rolling up down in Wilson Park, and Danny and I unleashed the water truck full throttle to clear out the geese. I'm sure he appreciated the work there. But outside of that, one of the things in the last year or two that has really made an impact on me is the influence of so many different people. I think that's pretty clear today for sure. And I see the cross-country team here for Cathedral. We talked about a lot of other teams, mayors, athletic directors, his family that runs through St. John's, Vic. I'm no different. I can stand here and say that I would not be in the position I am as a soccer coach at the university without his influence. It's kind of amazing how he would propel you in different directions. Just by his influence, send you someplace that you might not have gone without his touch or spirit. And it's interesting now what I learned about just coaching in general. When I first got into soccer, I didn't know anything about soccer, and I appreciate also about him that he was able to accept and support you in places that you didn't belong. Not ever once did I ever think I wouldn't be a great soccer coach. In fact, he always told me, when he knew I was headed that direction, he said, a good coach is a good thief. And the thing is I had immediate success when I could do that. And so now, that's 17 years later of coaching, and myself and John Haws have taken multiple national coaching courses by some of the biggest names in soccer. Just a brain full of information and coaching ed and experience. And even right now, to this day at St. Ben's, we have a lot of success because I don't stray too far from what I learned from Larry. And so, as I said to him in my message, I saw him at Lake George, one of the Wednesdays at George's, and he just beamed up. And before I could even say anything, or before we could even get hands, he goes, "Great job out there at St. Ben's." So I knew that he was following the programs, and I wanted to make sure that he knew my message, that I know you follow our programs, and I appreciate that, but it's important for him to know that each and every single win has his fingerprints on it. And I appreciate his influence on my life and the direction that I was able to go. And I also appreciate the connection he's got from so many different groups, from current high school teams to those old cathedral wrestling teams that throwing kids out the window. And some stories that we haven't touched on yet here. If we get to those. But again, it was a very, very, very small moment, and much, much less of a relationship than a lot of you have. But obviously you can tell that it was a major impact on my life. I'm thankful for it. And again, I would not be able to enjoy the great life I have as a college soccer coach without him